To start off this tour, we got our very OP and traditional mini Satori disconnectable TC. This will allow you to place down your main TC if you're ever getting raided without having to raid your outer TCs. You just disconnect it with that roof slant. And once you're ready to reconnect them, just put these two triangle frames, upgrade them, and you're good to go. Entering our gatehouse, these are one of three. We got our classic dust peaks. It's a little variation of the dust gatehouses. We got a little rekit campfire here, and a little cheeky, sneaky pixel gap, a loot room. 2 boxes above each gatehouse. I recommend you do not skin those boxes so they are harder to see. The compound is symmetrical, so anything you see on the side is the same on the opposite. Simple airlock. Now, going into the entrance of the base, we're going to see one drop box loot room right above the entrance. And the shell just consists of 3 turrets and some more drop box loot. We don't want to put our main loot here. This is just drop loot, stuff that you don't care to lose if you're getting raided. And as you can see, the roofs are bunkered. All we have to do is put a twig roof here. It'll not only open the bottom bunker, but it'll also open the 2 floors above us. A good protection for a top-down raid. Now for the first bunker, can be we can put good loot down here. I have a refiner here as well. We also have our GameLightz hidden locker rooms. All bunkers are very similar. I like to have this bunker here below as a battery room, so we'll have some good loot stored in here, as well as 2 large batteries to power your turrets and other electricity. Another GameLightz hidden locker right behind that vending machine. And the third and final bunker will be our TC room. This is where you would store your best loot. And we also have another hidden locker here. This base can hold a duo very easily. You can try for a trio. There's plenty of space, but I'd recommend it for a duo at most. Shooting floor is symmetrical. We got 3 lockered bedrooms with some miscellaneous items, research table, mixing tables, and we got these nice roof slants to give us some vision when we're getting raided. Nothing too special about the roof, just 3 turrets protecting us from top-down raids. And we have our wind turbines and 1 SAM site at the very top. And last but not least, we have the upkeep and build costs shown on the screen. This is with all deployables included, everything fully upgraded, so the base can cost a lot less. And let's go ahead and get into the build. Alright, to start this build off, we're going to do a little untraditional starter. We're going to go right into the bunker for the starter. So it's important you don't place anything that I don't place or upgrade anything I don't upgrade, because you can mess up the bunker right away. I always like to place a triangle frame before I place my TC, just to make it harder for raiders to get my TC loot. Now this this square twig that I'm on, it's important you do not upgrade this, otherwise you mess up the bunker. And the same thing with the roofs here, you do not want to add any roofs except for this triangle frame. This is our little airlock. And to get right into the bunker, we're going to go out 1 square, and 17 triangles. Once we get to that 17th triangle, we want to add a square to the left and demolish all the twigs. Once that's done, we're going to be coming back with squares till we can't no more. Should be about 8 squares. And make sure to upgrade the last square, demolish the rest. Now it's important for this bunker to work, you can only place half walls here, not a full wall. And the floor that you're going to place on top has to be connected to the half walls. And once that's done, you can basically place this floor here. And this is your bunker. We won't use it now. We'll be using it later on in the build. But we just want to set it up for, just to be ready. Now I'm going to go ahead and fast forward my placements here. You can furnish your base however you like, but this is how I do it. Feel free to copy. Now once you're ready to expand your starter, we're basically going to be doing the same thing we did for the starter. We're going to be creating another bunker. We're going to be creating 2 of them. You can do this one at a time, but if you have enough resources, I recommend doing this all in one shot. That way you can just get the bunkers over with. So this left wall here you can seal, but this wall make sure to just keep it the frame. That's where the bunker is. Same on this side, you can seal the left roof, but make sure you don't seal anything else beyond that. That'll be our 3rd bunker. Create a couple more airlocks. The start is basically wrapping around the TC. For video's sake, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward me making the bunkers. It's the same exact way we made the first bunker. We're going to be doing that on both sides. Now these upgrades are really important because we don't want anyone just going to the outpost and buying a jackhammer and jackhammering to our main loot. So upgrade those to metal. And this is basically how I have my expanded starter setup. Now you can go ahead and expand, or not expand, upgrade as much as you like here. You can make the whole core metal. It's recommended you do. But for the sake of the video, I'm just going to go ahead and skip into me going on to the next stage. So we're going to seal the entire base here. The only way you can get in now is from the bunkers. And we're going to go ahead and create our shell/entrance. So we're going to make 3 door frames on all the bunker sides and wall in the rest. Make sure these foundations are high, not low. And they're going to all get 4 walls and a roof. Now after doing that, you want to go ahead and figure out which side your entrance is going to be on. I like to go ahead and look where the TC is and make an entrance opposite side of the TC just for a stronger raid cost. Our entrance is going to be a simple door frame, double door frame with a little mini loot room on top, and the other 2 squares are going to be loot rooms. We can make this twig here just so we can make the loot room without having to make any any concoctions on the outside, placing that floor frame there. And these loot rooms are also going to act, the entrance and the loot rooms are also going to act as a way to open out bunkers. And make sure, it's very important, you upgrade these foundations once again. You don't want anyone just jackhammering into your loot rooms or into your entrance for a cheaper raid. Now we're going to go ahead and cover the shell. This is a really important part of the build because we're going to, even though this is a triple bunkered base, it's technically 5 bunkers in total because we're going to be bunkering the roof as well, just to protect from top-down raids. So I like to make my roof entrance opposite of my TC and my main entrance. And make sure these floors are towards the roof entrance, and this last floor will be towards the bunkers. And this will allow you to make a roof bunker right here. So let's say we go ahead and open the offset bunker. It's going to open both the roof as well as the bottom bunker. And these will only open the bottom bunkers, they won't open the roof. Now for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward my placements here. You can copy if you'd like, but go ahead and make your loot rooms how you like them. So this is how the outside of the base should look once it's completely sealed. And now we can go ahead and start working on our bunkers. And we're going to section them in 3 parts. That way it's a lot more costly to raid us. So to section them out, we're going to add a wall after each door. You can place garage doors if you can afford them. You should be able to by now. And same thing for this loot room, we're going to place a wall right after the door. Garage door. And just so we're not a 10 satchel raid to one of our main loot rooms, we're going to go ahead and upgrade the entire outside to metal. And the inside as well. It's super important to upgrade these half walls as well, since they're the walls that are actually holding the bunker up. If these half walls get destroyed, the bunker will collapse. So make sure you match the half walls to whatever grade your bunker is set to. The barbecue here is just for easy jump up. You can put furnaces or hobo barrel, whatever you prefer. And we can upgrade the inside as well, especially the TC part. You should have enough HQM by now to secure the TC up. Now these door rooms are going to be for hidden lockers. Make sure you rotate that door when you upgrade it to metal, so it can't be saw-sided into if anyone's door raiding you. And for the TC room, we're gonna upgrade it as strong as we can, so if you have enough HQM, you want to go ahead and upgrade that now, since this is where your main loot room is going to be. And to create these hidden locker rooms, we'll go ahead and place a locker followed by a vending machine. To place a perfect vending machine in this door, you want to go ahead and sort of fall off the ledge here and place it as far in as you can. The campfire is just for our quick jump up, and we'll repeat it on the other sides as well. Alright, once again, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward for the sake of the video. This is my blocks placements for my loot rooms. Feel free to switch it up. For this loot room, you can go ahead and add a refinery here. And for the second loot room, you can make it your battery room. Once all that's done, you can go ahead and make a stronger airlock at your entrance. That way you don't get door camped. This single door has to face outward for the airlock to work. And this is how the base should look once you're done with all the bunkers. Now I like to secure my area with TCs before I make my shooting floor. That way I don't get griefed. So we're going to go ahead and make the gatehouses. These gatehouses are going to be pixel gapped. You don't have to pixel gap them if you're not in the mood to do all this, but I highly recommend it for a solo or a duo. It's nice to have hidden loot rooms just in case you get raided by a small group or a Zerg. To do these pixel gap loot rooms, you're going to go ahead and go out one triangle, 2 squares, followed by a triangle to the left. And then you're going to go ahead and build off all twig a half moon, 1 square, 11 triangles, and then another square to top it off. And then we're going to demolish everything. We're going to come back with squares, followed by the final half moon, upgrade the last triangle, demolish the rest, and we're going to rinse and repeat on the other side. But we have to make sure that the triangle here is built off of the pixel gap. We don't want to use the original triangle we had. And then we're going to go ahead and make a little variation of the dust gatehouses with the roof triangle. And just make sure when you place the triangles on top, they can't be facing each other. That creates the gap. We're going to go ahead and start our TCs, our external TCs. So a square and a triangle, 2 triangles. We'll upgrade both of those just to avoid being soft-sided. And we'll add these 2 frames to connect them to the gatehouses. Now we can upgrade that square and that triangle to wood and stone. This is mini Satori external TC, collapsible external TC, so that way if you get raided you can place your main TC down without having to destroy all your TCs. If you'd like to, if you're not familiar with the mini Satori detachable TCs, I'll drop a link in the description below with his channel page. Now when placing these boxes, it's best to not skin them. Leave them at the default skin so it's harder for raiders to see if they get in your gatehouse. And then just go ahead and make a simple airlock followed by a window. And to top it off, we're just going to go ahead and place 4 square twigs and add 2 barricades here. And then you can remove the twigs once the barricades are placed. And we're going to rinse repeat that on the other 2 sides. Alright, so it's time to build our compound. This is a very easy method to not ever mess up your walls when placing them. You want to clip them slightly into your gatehouse, and then the opposite of your wall needs to be right before the door, the opposite gatehouse door. So on this side, we're going to clip it in a little bit to the gatehouse, and then the right side is going to be right after the door. And it'll allow you to place 2 walls sort of in a V shape right next to each other. This works about 99% of the time, but feel free to test this on a build server before you do it on a live server. Now we're going to go ahead and open up this sealed roof. That way we can work on our shooting floor. To start, we're going to place 3 single door frames right in the middle, because we're going to create 3 sections on our shooting floor. It makes our raid path a lot stronger, and it allows us to make multiple bedrooms as well. So the shooting floor is completely symmetrical. Just follow this layout and make sure that this frame right here gets the roof attached to the frame. This allows for you to make an additional floor / roof bunker. So once we demolish this twig here, I'll go ahead and give you an example of how this works. It works just like the previous one we made. So you place a roof here, place another roof, as well as our main bunker. And then once we add this twig here, it'll collapse all 3 of them. And then we want to seal off the rest. Now when we're sealing off these roofs, make sure that they're attached to the middle frame, the middle doors. And now we can make our bedrooms just a simple double door frame followed by a wall. We can do that on all three sides. Now you only need 9 embrasures for this base, so it's very cheap on metal, as opposed to a lot of other bases you need 12 or more. We want to go ahead and place a double door after we place these stone ramps. These ramps are just to give you some leverage when peeking down at raiders. And then we want to go ahead and place garage doors for our lockered bedrooms. And make sure the single doors are swinging outwards, all of them, for better mobility. Now when placing the locker and the beds, make sure the locker is as close to the wall as possible, no gaps behind it. That way when you place the bed, there's just enough space for you to place it and for the garage door to close, and you will not see the locker or the bed. Now I like to upgrade the entire second floor to metal at this point. You should have enough, and at this point it should be deep in the wipe where people are starting to get a lot of boom, so you want to make sure and secure yourself so someone doesn't come roam raid you with 4 rockets and steals some of your loot, especially if your bunkers are open and you're outside of your base. I like to upgrade the inside as well, and the roofs, in case you're getting top down rated. And these metal frames are actually really important to upgrade, because just like how the half walls control the bunkers on the bottom, these frames control the roof bunkers on top. So if you're getting top down rated and your frames get splashed and they're only stone, it'll only cost 4 rockets for your bunkered roofs to collapse on top. So just make sure they're metal when you can afford it. Now at this point I go ahead and upgrade my TC room to armored. Just do it whenever you can afford it, the sooner the better. I forgot to armor that one foundation there, but we'll do it later on in the video. Now you can't place the bunker over the ladder hatch. You'd have to place the bunker first and then place the ladder hatch. Just a heads up. And then now we can place some miscellaneous items like mixing tables and research tables on the shooting floor. You can also place campfires right next to these beds, just for some comfort healing when you spawn, especially if you're living in the snow. And when building a base like this, you do want to build in the snow. That way you can afford it, and so you can get flat enough land to build a base like this. Because it's pretty difficult to build a base like this on uneven terrain. Now, it's actually important to armor these floors here, these foundations, because if you don't and someone 8 rockets raid these, they can actually get into your loot rooms pretty easily. And we're gonna go ahead and honeycomb just whenever you can afford it. Now at this point, the base is pretty much almost complete. We're just going to go ahead and set the roof up with some wind turbines and a SAM site. I like to set up my wind turbines like this. So we'll go 1 frame, 2 frame, then 3 frames. Followed by some half walls in between those frames. And some roof triangles on top of those half walls. This is where you would place your turret pods. It also protects them from MLRS damage. Just a bit. Make sure those double doors are swinging outwards. And then now we can go ahead and place our twig squares here. If the twig square is not placing due to stability, don't worry, just go ahead and place some frames to increase the stability, and then you can place them. And the reason we're placing these squares here is so we can do the GameLightz trick, where you can place SAM sites and turbines on your frames without having to have floors placed. So when placing your SAM site, there are going to be these 2 little sort of like sticking out to the left and right. You can see them, 2 little lines. Make sure they're right in the middle, and you can place them and remove the twigs, and it will not collapse. And the turbines is a bit different. You want to get them directly in the middle, and once they're in the middle, just rotate them once and place. Same thing on this side, just directly in the middle, rotate them once, and you can place and remove the twigs. And that should hold us down for enough turrets for a base like this. It's ideal to have 3 SAM sites, so if you can afford to put them somewhere else, go ahead and do so. But you want to at least have 1, so someone that just doesn't land on your roof with a mini, or it takes some LMRS damage off at least if you're getting 12 rocket MLRS rated. At this point, the base is pretty much complete. You can leave it like this if you don't have that much resources. Very cheap base, as you can see the cost there. You can roll like this as a solo and have a pretty badass base with plenty of storage and raid protection. But if you're pretty loaded, and I like to get pretty loaded as a solo, I like to upgrade a lot to metal. So especially the gatehouses, we're going to upgrade full to metal. If we get MLRS rated, we do not want our raiders to know we have Pixel Gap loot rooms in here. So these 6 boxes are going to be for some of your more important kits. You know, if you get some M249s, you can put them in here. L9s, bolties, AKs, or if you want to take a chance and put your boom in there, you can. It's sort of a dice roll when it comes to this, because if someone's smart enough to know you have these loot rooms, they can spend minimal rockets to raid your gatehouses and get your boom. I like to make my shooting floor full metal, so if I'm getting rated to have maximum protection on top. If you can't afford it, that's fine. Same thing with the bottom honeycomb. If you can't afford it, that's fine, but I like to keep it metal. Keep our bunkered rooms to about 15 to 16 rockets per. So if they're raiding you from the side, they're going to spend somewhere around 45 to 50 rockets to raid you. It's important to put these half walls here and seal off that foundation so someone doesn't bring a shitload of jackhammers and foundation swap side raid you for those little loot rooms there. And to finish off the inside of the base, I like to section off the shell with garage doors. If you can't afford that many garage doors, feel free to do double doors. You can do chain link fences, chain link gates or prison cell gates. I like to use garage doors for maximum mobility. And this way you can put your turrets in your shell, 3 of them, if you can afford them. And you can even set up your garage doors to like a smart switch so they all open if you're getting raided. Same thing with the outside. I like to set up lots of turrets, so 2 foundations and 2 turrets, and do that on all gatehouses. I forgot to add the turrets on top, and forgot to upgrade the top as well. You want to make sure it's all metal. So if you're getting MLRS rated, it's not a cheap raid to get you top down. And last but not least, we want to go ahead and add an armored double door here. If you can afford to craft one, but by now you should be able to get one of those from Cargo or Oil. And we want to go ahead and add our tier 3 if you'd advance that far. By now, this far in the wipe, I like to bring a duo with me, show off my base, do some duo runs, PvP. So I'll add 2 beds here or 2 bags here, bag in someone I like playing with, and we can do some raids or provoke some people, get raided, and have some fun. Now here's the build cost for the main base, followed by the build cost for the external TCs. You'll multiply this one by 3. And that's pretty much the base. I appreciate you guys coming by. I hope you liked the video. Definitely comment down below what you like or didn't like about the base, and let me know what you'd like to see next. Appreciate you guys, and have a happy wipe.